Call to order the July 17th, 2025 meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Burlingame.
Here.
Councilor Khaleesi.
Here.
Councilor Greathouse.
Here.
Councilor Steer.
Here.
Councilor Wood.
Here. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for us, please. Walter.
Yeah, just like to take a moment for a moment of silence to someone in our community who's given a lot to our community. Dr. Matthew Stone passed away suddenly last week, so just take a moment to think of him and his family at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, open forum for agenda items. Anybody wishing to speak on the agenda items, please step to the microphone and state your name when called on. Nobody. Okay. All right, public hearings. A, new victualling licenses, discussion and action. Applicant Troy Hughes, acting on behalf of the Glocester Club as president of the board of directors, DBA Glocester Country Club, 121 Wentworth Avenue. This public hearing is a new victualling license and was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on June 26th, July 3rd, and July 10th, 2025. Declare the public meeting open. You want to get up and tell us what you got going on over there at the club?
Oh,
Just need you to come up.
sure.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. My name is Troy Hughes. I'm the current sitting president at Glocester Country Club. We're looking to expand our restaurant for a public victualling license, possibly share the virtues of Waterman Lake, and maybe have an opportunity to expand our membership. I think we were approved 4 or 5 years ago. We just withdrew it to save a few bucks, and now we're trying to go the other way to secure our chef and keep him on, give him an opportunity to earn a better living. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
So you're looking to invite the public in? and
Yes.
This is gonna be a restaurant,
It already is a restaurant that serves the membership.
membership only, right?
Yep.
So you wanna make it public, so
Yes.
I'm not a member, I could go there? and-
Yes.
Okay. What's the policy right now for alcohol?
Members are allowed to bring it onto the property. So they bring it onto the golf course, that kind of thing. We do not have a liquor license. We do not serve alcohol in any way, shape.
Would the plan be somewhere to get a liquor license possibly for that restaurant?
That would be a tough hill to climb with the membership. I just don't know at this point.
Okay, just.
Yep.
What would be the hours? What would you anticipate the hours to be?
Currently, I believe it's Tuesday through Sunday, like a 4 to 8 kind of thing. It'll be depend on the success of the restaurant, obviously.
That's all I have at the moment.
Anybody else? Good? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody here wish to speak on this matter? Y'all done speaking? All right. I'll declare the public hearing closed. And can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant a victualling license to applicant Glocester Country Club through their board of directors, DBA Glocester Country Club. Location 121 Wentworth Avenue, Gloucester, Rhode Island. Contingent upon 1, payment of all town taxes. 2, building and zoning approval as needed. 3, fire and/or police approval as needed. 4, current health department approval. 5, current food manager certificate. And 6, current Rhode Island permit to make sales. This license shall be for the interior of the premise only and is valid to November 30th, 2025.
Say a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have to recuse. So, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right, consent items, discussion and action, approval of town council minutes, special meetings of June 23rd and July 9th, 2026, and regular meeting of June 26th, 2025. B, the tax assessor's additions and abatements, June 2025. C, finance director's report, June 2025. And D, the pole grant, Cherry Valley Road installation of new pole number P5-1. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the town council minutes of special meetings June 23rd and July 9th. Regular meeting minutes of June 26, 2025. No additions or abatements to the 2024 tax roll for the month of June 2025. To accept the finance director's report for June 2025 and to approve the pole grant Cherry Valley Road installation of new pole number P5-1.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That was, Counselor, oh, you got that? Okay. Unfinished business, boards and commissions, discussion, interaction, appointments, discussion, interaction, parade committee, alternate number 2, alternate number 3. There are no recommendations from the chair. Can I get a motion?
Motion to table the appointments, alternate 2 and alternate 3 to the parade committee to the town council meeting of, what is the next one, 4? 7? Till August 7th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. B, Glocester 250th Commission. There's no new names on the talent bank. If anybody's interested, just go to the clerk's office or the website to volunteer, fill out at the talent bank. It'll be a great event.
We currently have enough members to call a meeting, so we're pushing Roy to call it in the next week or two.
Perfect.
It's gotta get started.
Yeah.
And Roy obviously has all the contacts for everybody that we appointed.
Yeah. Yep.
So for those 3 positions, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to table the appointments of positions 5, 6, and 7 to the Glocester 250th Commission.
A second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 2 appointments, board commission appointments, terms concurrent with the town council to expire 12/31/2026. Discussion, interaction, the Economic Development Commission. 1 ad hoc non-voting number 1, 1 ad hoc non-voting number 2. There are no recommendations at this time, so if I can get a motion, please.
Motion to table the appointments of ad hoc non-voting member number 1 and ad hoc non-voting member number 2 to the Economic Development Commission to the town council meeting of August 2nd.
Can I get a second?
To August 7th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. B, consideration of expanding the community septic loan program, discussion or action. Council received a memo from the town planner, 2 town council members from Karen Scott, town planner, date June 17, 2025. Community septic system loan program expansion. The community septic system loan program, of which Glocester is a participant, provides low-interest loans for septic improvements for residential properties for up to 4 units. The loan funds are provided by the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank, and loans are serviced by Rhode Island Housing. Loans can be up to $50,000 and require a no more than 45% debt-to-income ratio. The loan term is 10 years, and the property must be owner-occupied. In conjunction with the upcoming Chepachet Village Septic Improvement Program, which will provide direct grant funds for the septic system improvements in the village through SNEP and EPA grant funds, we have worked with the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank to potentially expand the existing community septic system loan program to expand eligibility for the loan funds to include mixed-use structures and commercial buildings. This would ensure that the property owners of commercial and mixed-use structures have access to funds to complete the septic system upgrade, which will likely be quite expensive. We anticipate that the grant funds will only cover a portion of the entire construction project, and we want to see as many septic upgrades as possible throughout this program. The Chepachet Village Septic Improvement Program grant applications are set to be distributed next week, so this expanded program with the Infrastructure Bank is very timely as property owners decide if septic upgrades are financially feasible. End of memo. Want to give us a little
Sure, be happy to.
clip note?
Yep. So as you know, back in 2020, we did the Chepachet Village Revitalization Plan. It laid out a bunch of different things that we could do to encourage and expand business and additional housing units, historic preservation, recreation, all these things. one of the biggest deterrents that was identified in this was the infrastructure, water and sewer. So the sewer issue is everyone's on their own individual on-site wastewater, and they're also on their own individual well. So, and all these lots in the village are historic, and what makes it so great, it's very walkable, but what makes it really tough for water and sewer is that they are very small lots, and there are distance requirements that you have to have between septic and your well, which are very hard to meet on, I'd say, the majority of the lots that are in the Chicago village. So it becomes a big challenge for property owners to upgrade their septic systems if they say have a cesspool or an older on-site septic system, because one, the size of the lot, there's just not a lot of room to put it, their proximity to their own well or other wells and other properties, and their proximity to the Patrick River. So there's a lot of competing things that make it really hard to site a septic system, as it would be a lot easier if you have a 4-acre lot where you have all this room to do it. So what that does is it makes it really expensive to get a septic system. You usually have to go to advanced treatment. So if, say, a septic system on a regular residential lot would be, you know, maybe $30,000 or so, this type of septic could go up to $60,000. And as you know, a lot of these businesses that we have downtown are weekend businesses, antique shops. These are not like, you know, having $60,000 hanging around to do a septic. So identifying that problem is where we went to the infrastructure bank and said, okay, we have these properties that need septic systems. What programs do you offer for them? And essentially, the short answer is it was none. If you have public infrastructure, they have programs to upgrade your pipes, to connect to the pipes if you're in a more urban area. If you're a residential, up to 4 units, they have this septic loan program in which we participate. But if you're in this sliver of properties that are either business, nonprofit, or mixed use, you're out of luck. There's no programs available to you. So that's when we went out and got the grants from SNAP and EPA and started to put together this grant program. The reason why we were able to just open it to the village and just not town-wide is because it's very much tied to the water quality of the Patrick River. So as the main issue with the water quality of the Patrick River is runoff from failed septic systems. So there's a lot of funding around trying to solve that problem. So that's the primary problem we're trying to solve. So we hired PAR. We went ahead, set up a grant program over the last 8 to 10 months. Did a lot of outreach to a lot of business owners. We came up with about 25 interested properties who have said, yeah, I think this is a program that might work for me. So we put together an application, which is out now, it's live, until application deadline is August 8th. So what this will do is we'll provide eligible property owners with up to $4,000 in design costs and a minimum of $10,000 in construction costs towards a new septic system, which is fantastic. It could be a little more, it just depends on how many people actually go ahead and apply. So we wanted to stay conservative to make sure that if every single person who's interested applied, there'd be some money for everybody. But what that does is it doesn't get you all the way to a new septic system. There's still a financial gap that is there. So say you get the $14,000, but your septic it's going to be $60,000. Not a lot of small businesses, nonprofits, or mixed-use buildings have $45,000 extra hanging around. So we were trying to figure out what we could do to try and bridge that financial gap. So we met with the infrastructure bank to talk about our existing program, which is the Glocester Community Septic Loan Program. So we have these applications. This is available to anyone in town as long as you're 4 units of residential or less. It's a 2% low interest loan program. You can apply. The infrastructure bank essentially gives us a line of credit, and then the applicants apply to Rhode Island Housing, who approves their application, and then they borrow off the line of credit and then pay it back through Rhode Island Housing, which replenishes our line of credit. Not replenishes, pays off our line of credit. So that's the way the current program works.
We're lending the money, the town is technically?
So we take a 0% interest line of credit from the infrastructure bank. And then we hold that and we let residents borrow against that line of credit. and they get put on a payment plan for up to 10 years to pay back the loan.
What if they don't pay it back? Are we on
Great
the hook for it?
question. So we've loaned out, let's see, $1.6 million in loans to 61 homeowners. We've been doing it since 2001, and we've never had a problem. 0 properties have ever defaulted. In fact, I asked the infrastructure bank, when have towns had to actually come up with the money? He said never. Like in the history of the program, they're in 20 communities, and the town has never had to come up with the money. You have to think about, okay, so you'd have to go through, and David, you can jump in here for a
Is it
moment.
like a pass-through?
There is a scenario under which we are the last person on the hook for the money. So you would say, okay, the homeowner borrows it. The homeowner defaults, then Rhode Island Housing goes to the homeowner. They either work out a payment plan or they lien the property. When the property sells, as long as their mortgage isn't underwater, then that loan gets paid off as part of the sale. So that generally works, and it's a 2% interest. And say if you borrowed, I think if you borrowed like $30,000, the monthly payment's like $160 a month. So it's a very reasonable program. So, is there a risk to Gloucester running this in general? Yeah, there is, but we've been, like I said, we're $1.6 million in, and we've had 0 defaults, and neither has any other community, and there's a lot of communities that 28 communities. So, I think that's their, bottom rung last effort would be to do that. But the infrastructure bank was very clear that that's really not what they're trying to do with this program. What they're trying to do is help people get new septic systems and water quality and all that. So what the infrastructure bank has agreed is, and which we had always hoped they would do, is to allow us to create a pilot program here where we expand the community septic loan program, keep all the same terms, same percentage rate, same maximum amounts of borrowing, same everything, but instead of having to be a residential unit, 1 to 4 units, we would expand that to include a commercial property, a nonprofit owned property, or a mixed-use property. And then they would also be eligible to partake in the existing loan program under the same terms. So what I'm here today for is to kind of just lay this all out there. And then what the infrastructure bank has asked for us is a resolution supporting the concept of this, and then they would bring it to their board to make sure that their board supports the concept of this, and then we would work out the details that we would bring back to you, just like you get every time we do a new line of credit with them, which I think the last time we did one was in 2021. So we've done it 5 times. We've gotten, $250,000, and then we came back 10 years later, we got 300, then we came back 7 years later and got another 3. It just keeps replenishing. So,
how much interest have these businesses shown in these loans?
Quite a bit, actually, especially the smaller businesses, because like I said, if you're a weekend business, I can think of, I'll just use an antique shop off the top of my head because there's one that's interested. They've had a failed septic system, not failed. It's not failed. It's struggling. That's what I'm looking for. Struggling septic system, but the price tag on it's $55,000. They're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These are not like high dollar, high yield businesses. So this is a way to help them solve the problem, keep them in business, and I think that's what we all want to do. Is kind of, the business district is where we're raising our taxes. This is where the highest tax rates come. A successful business district is a win for the whole community, not just for Patchett Village. The other thing that it helps with is one of the biggest complaints that we all know we get around any of our festival or parade times is, where can we go to the bathroom? Like, there is no public restroom in Patchett. And a lot of businesses don't open their restrooms to the public because of these septic issues. So fixing these septic issues would allow a lot more public access to restrooms too, and the businesses when they're open on the weekend is mostly when we need it. So I think, while I recognize it does come with a sliver of risk, we're already having the sliver of risk with the residences. And the vast majority of the people who take these loans will still be the single-family residential customers, because 93% of the town is residentially based, and this is just the sliver that just doesn't have access to this kind of funds to be able to bridge that gap. So while I'm excited to bring the grant funds to them, it's not, I think it'll be an incentive to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I could do this, but I don't know if it's going to take them all the way to the finish line.
What about the rental property that'll open it up, this isn't have to be owner occupied now, right?
Yes,
So
But
the
the-
apartment buildings,
yes, it doesn't have to be owner occupied, but it would have to be the property owner that's taking the loan.
right.
So that was another concern, say you give it to a business and that business goes out of business. Well, you're not giving the loan to the business, you're giving the loan to the property owner. And that property owner's still gonna own that property as the collateral, he's still on the hook for the loan, and he can bring another business in, and so that's the. So I know later on in the agenda, there's a resolution, I think, that follows this, but I just wanted to kind of give a good thorough explanation about what we're trying to accomplish here, and I think it's gonna be a good thing, and I'm really hopeful that this program is gonna turn over, gosh, 15 would be my dream, if we could get 15 septic systems. I mean, that would take cesspools out, that would just be an amazing feat for us to do, and if we set up a program like this, it would be replicable by other small communities that struggle with the same thing, Situates, Fosters, the small villages, that kind of stuff.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Karen, sorry.
Yeah, no, sure.
So, let's say we had 15, right? So
Mhm.
15, like you mentioned. Does that impact the availability for funds for any other residential in town currently?
Yeah, so what we do is we spend down our line of credit, and then when we spend the line of credit down, we generally go back to the infrastructure bank and open a new line of credit. So, for example, like we opened a $300,000 line of credit in 2020, which we spent real quick on residential units, and in 2021, we got a $500,000 line of credit. So they want to keep this program going, so they'll open a new line of credit. I don't think that all 15 properties are gonna be needing to bridge the gap in this way, but I do think there's definitely some that this will make a difference for. I think right now the last I checked, on that $500,000 line of credit, we have there's 2 projects on the pipeline, so we have about $140,000 available. So any residential unit would be just as eligible today as they would be if we added the business community. And they don't take precedence, there's not a ranking, there's not a scoring. It's like if you qualify, you get the money.
Just an expansion.
Yeah, just an expansion.
I just don't want anybody to not have any residential, not have this, it's expensive
Oh,
proposition.
yeah, it's expensive for anyone. I mean,
Yeah,
these
anyone.
are very, especially if you're not expecting to have to do it. But I would anticipate that if we had a little more interest, just like we did between 20 and 21, we had a lot of interest, so we turned over another line of credit. I assume we do the same thing, because all these previous ones are getting paid back over the 10 years or when the property sells.
So this would only be for existing properties, right? Existing septic systems. It wouldn't be if somebody built a new building, it wouldn't be for a new build, right?
No, and we could clarify that too in the paperwork.
Because if I were to vote for it, that wouldn't be the intent that somebody come in.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't imagine it would
loan
be
to
either.
do that, it would be to help existing
Yep.
situations.
Yeah, we could definitely stipulate to that. I think it's the ones that are tough, and I think you've all walked around, there's some that don't have something in it. It's an empty building waiting to be something, and it's waiting to be something because it needs to have a septic system, and that septic system is a steep cost when you don't have anything in there yet. So this is gonna help bring some more small businesses to the downtown in our existing buildings.
Yeah, it's a replacement, I think that they have to qualify to need the replacement.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's, we could clarify that with the infrastructure bank, just to make sure we're crystal clear on any expansion. This is for existing commercial, existing nonprofit, and I added nonprofit in there too, because we have quite a few churches that are in here, and those churches also need to do this. And again, a loan would go a long way to help them, because they're just not, by nature, money-making enterprises.
I just read the terms of the loan program, and it is only to replace or repair failing or failed septic systems and cesspools.
Great, and
So
that's,
it is one of the terms.
yeah, great, that's exactly how we would intend to keep it that way too.
But you said the terms would stay the same, right?
So, so that if that's already listed, I just wasn't sure if it was
Yeah, and I
exactly
just
laid
wanna
out
make
like that,
sure.
but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to qualify to replace.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's gonna be really great for the village. I think it's gonna be great.
To clean up the river.
It's gonna be great for water quality, it's gonna be great for the small businesses that could really use it. I think it's gonna be great for the public that uses the village, especially during our festivals, to be able to have options, to be able to use a public restroom. I think this is a lot of upside to it, I think.
Anybody else?
No, my biggest concern was, I wanted to make sure this wouldn't impact the availability to the rest of the town, residents in the rest of the town, if this were to take off, if you will.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, the infrastructure bank has constantly allowed us to, you know, when the money runs out, we start with a new line of credit. It's the same as between 20 and 21, where a lot of residents wanted to get a new septic system, so the money went down real quick. And the next people in line could still get it because we came in and did a new line of credit. So it would work just the same way as that.
It spikes whenever there's especially a new DEM via
Yes.
regulation
Regulations, yeah.
that you have to replace systems. So we have a few now that they're writing to us for exceptions to the debt to
Yeah.
income ratio
Yeah.
that you'll be getting in the coming weeks. So
Right.
our residents do use it a lot.
Yeah, for sure, $1.6 million worth. I mean, that's a lot of, that's a lot of, and because it's a low interest loan and it's not income based either. So anyone who needs it, because I don't think having $30,000 on hand is unique to just a sliver of income.
Yeah, and they broadened the reach of where waters are to where things can be put now. What, 2 years ago, they changed the distance?
Yeah, every time it gets smaller, it makes the envelope, especially on a small lot, even smaller. So, I mean, the village, it certainly is a huge issue.
Yep, okay. All right, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
C, special town referendum status, proposal town referendum discussion or action.
I spoke with Beth Keeling today. They're just waiting on Renee to finalize the budget. I believe Beth sent the budget to Renee earlier this week. Renee's been out with some family issues, so once they get a hold of it, they'll get it. She'll make the changes or any changes she needs to make to it. School committee to get it, and then they'll schedule a meeting. So
Perfect.
it's still kind of just up in the air until they get all that information.
Perfect. All right, new business, A, personnel discussion and interaction, Department of Public Works, resignation, driver laborer. The clerk has received a letter of resignation from DPW employee Tyler Martin, driver laborer. Last date of employment was July 4th, 2025. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to accept the resignation of Tyler Martin from the DPW driver labor position effective July 5th, 2025.
Okay, a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
The authorization to seek replacement employment from the DPW director would now request authorization to seek replacement. Can I get a motion?
Motion to authorize Gary Tremmel to seek candidates to fill the driver laborer position with the Glocester DPW.
Okay, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Recreation Department, ratification of supplemental appointments, suburb 2025 recreation positions, discussion or action. Prior to this council meeting, Town's Council by consensus agreed to allow the director to appoint additional employees and adjust others to different positions to keep the summer recreation program staffed and going. Council now needs to ratify those changes in the recreation department. Can I get a motion?
Motion to ratify the following changes to the roster of 2025 Recreation Department employees originally appointed on June 5th, 2025. Removal, Water Safety Aide, Noah Sorrentino, declined position. Parks and Grounds, Mario Gerard, cannot finish season. Adjustments. Move Leah Seton from Litter Patrol into swim aid position. Move Jacob DeRoche from parking attendant to the maintenance role. New hires, parking attendant Beatrice Bither, maintenance Joseph Lowell, lifeguard Brendan DeRogers.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. B, special event applications, applicant Glocester Business Association, event trick or treat on Main Street. Date of this is Saturday, October 25th, 2025. A, determine if exempt from public hearing and or set public hearing date, discussion and or action. The application received for the special event notes that the event is the same as last year's event. So no complaints were received after last year's event. Council needs to determine if the event is exempt from public hearing due to Gloucester's Code of Ordinance. Chapter 175.4-B. I can't believe we're already planning Halloween. That's all right. I like cold weather. Yes.
Hello, folks.
How are
Good
you?
evening.
Hello.
My name is Andy Goulet. I've been a Glocester Business Association member for the past 4 years, and this is my 3rd year as being co-chair for the Trick or Treat on Main Street function. There has been no changes. We didn't want to mess with the success. As the notes point out, it's been very well received. It's been a good cementing of members, businesses, residents between the town of Glocester and the town of Glocester. We've also, what I did not list on here as well, is we include 1,500 to almost 2,000 flyers hand delivered to all the different elementary schools, middle schools, and also the daycare centers. So it's a great time with the great weather. We've been doing this for almost 9 years, not counting 2020 when we had COVID. So I think it's a worthwhile situation for, again, having to see everybody having fun, raising, you know, good time, family membership, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a great event.
It is, absolutely.
I would have appreciated something like this in Foster when I was a little kid, because there was nowhere to trick or treat in Foster when I was little. Else has been very far away.
Yeah, and we have, again, based on Chief Dupree, he'll recommend as to how many we need to have for coverage. And usually, historically, it's around the roundabout. Also, another police officer just about in front of Kitson's Liquors, because depending on Navigant Credit Union, where they set up their tent, a lot of people go there for the free mugs and all that fun stuff. Then they have to come across the street to the park itself, where we have that as one of the collection areas as well. So we'll have that under control as well, as far as how much coverage he feels we need.
Right. Anybody have any questions?
I don't know, I think Bob has something to add.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is
so,
just to waive the public hearing,
Right.
Right.
this part of it.
Yeah.
Then there'll be, you can consider the application overall
Right.
in the next item. But
Oh,
if
okay.
you want to get the waiver over with. or-
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, can you get a motion then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to waive a public hearing pursuant to Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Chapter 175.4-B for applicant Gloucester Business Association event Trick or Treat on Main Street, date October 25th, 2025.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Now B, consideration of applicant if exempt. If council has agreed to waive the hearing, now we can consider the application. We all have the flyer in front of us, and a letter was with this, and that letter reads, Dear Gene, enclosed please find Gloucester Business Association field permit application and special event application for Trick or Treat on Main Street. Event to be held Saturday, October 25th, 2025 from 12 to 3 p.m. We respectfully request the following waivers for our event. Chapter 221-18I, we request permission to display our 8x2 Trick or Treat on Main Street banner on the pavilion grounds. Chapter 221-18N, we request permission to distribute local business coupons and other promotional items to the parents during the event. We request permission to set up an easy-up canopy at the exit point of the pavilion parking lot northern location. We request the exit point of the pavilion parking lot to be blocked off for pedestrian safety. We request permission to set up 2 tables and 4 chairs under the canopy. We request that the town waive the public hearing to consider these requests as there are no changes from previous trick-or-treat events. Please let us know whether we will be required to appear before the town council in regard to the event. Yours truly, Hillary Coolings, President, Gloucester Business Association. So So I guess, Bob, if you want to give us some more discussion.
Yeah, the only thing is I've been in touch with Sue Barron, and Sue is our organizer for the marketplace that takes place down at the pavilion. Nothing is going to be changing coming up this year. It's still going to be a event that's organized underneath Glocester Recreation, and Ms. Barron's has filled out the field request form that I've utilized in previous years.
And
to
she's
this
been
point.
around.
Exactly,
Yep.
so she's the individual that will take care of collecting all of their tax identifications, providing that to me. She's also the one that places them in their various locations, so she's very experienced with it. I would trust her to continue to run the marketplace underneath the umbrella of recreation as we previously had.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, so, I just don't remember. So,
Yeah.
we had that for the trunk or treat too?
No, so this happens to deal specifically with the Scarecrow Festival, that
Right.
I think is item B on the piece that you're discussing right now. So Trick or Treat on Main is just Trick or Treat on Main.
Right, yeah, that's what was
Correct.
throwing me
Yeah.
off there, yeah.
I saw the A and the B, I'm like, I don't know when I get up, but figured throw information at you is the better way to do it. Thank you.
Anywhere, you do well.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application submitted by the Glocester Business Association for Trick or Treat on Main Street to be held on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, from noon to 3 p.m. Starting locations, the Pavilion at Kent Field, Whiskey Pearl location, and a third location to be determined and approved by the Chief of Police. Said use of town property subject to 1, the authorization by signature of the Gloucester Recreation Director on field permit. 2, adhering to the stipulations of the previously adopted Pavilion at Kent Field use policy with the following waivers. A, Chapter 221-18I, to allow banners, to allow a banner on the grounds. 2, Chapter 221-18N, to allow local business coupons and other promotional items to be distributed to adults during the event. 3, permission is granted for a canopy to be set up with tables and chairs at the exit point of the parking lot. In addition, committee shall notify DPW prior to the event to request the blocking of the parking lot exit point. 3, police and fire approval shall be received by applicant and filed with the town clerk prior to the issuance of license. Both police and fire may require safety measures, including manpower details as they deem necessary. 4, additional stipulations may be made and added by a vote of the town council prior to the event.
Hey, a second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. 2, applicant Friendship Lodge Scarecrow Festival, Saturday, October 18th, 2025. A, determine if exempt from public hearing and set public hearing date, discussion or action. The application received for this event notes that the event is the same as last year's event. No complaints were received after last year's event. Council needs to determine if the event is exempt from public hearing due to the Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Chapter 175-4.4-B. Discussion.
So this is what,
Same thing again. This is a Scarecrow Festival, been going on for a long time. Chief has had no problems with it.
So we're waiting to have a public.
That's what we, yep, that's what we have.
Well, they're asking if they can waive it, basically.
Yeah.
Is someone here from the lodge? Did you have anything to add?
Not much more than was already said.
So I guess,
You want me to step in front of the mic? I don't want.
yeah, please, that'll
Please.
be fine, thank you. I guess the only question I have is, the event is the same, so nothing's changing, right, from last year as far as
No, we're
everything?
maintaining everything as is. This will be our 3rd year running it,
Yep.
and we just decided that everything's been running smoothly. We didn't want to mix anything up.
And those are my only questions.
reissues.
I don't either.
Get the recipe down pat.
We all good?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, can I get a
Yep.
motion?
Oh,
Thank
can
you.
I ask
Oh.
your name?
Keith Doucette.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to waive a public hearing pursuant to Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Chapters 175.4-B for applicant Friendship Lodge event Scarecrow Festival, date October 18th, 2025.
Wait a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good luck again this year.
Looking forward to it.
Do a
Thank
great
you.
job with it.
Appreciate it.
B, consider application, if exempt, discussion or action, if the council agrees to waive the public hearing, council can now consider the application. A request from the Friendship Lodge states the following. Scarecrow Festival 2025, proposal date, October 18th, 2025. Friendship Lodge number 7, along with the Scarecrow Festival Committee, respectfully request a license to hold the annual Scarecrow Fest in downtown Chepachet. We will comply with any restrictions requested by the town of Gloucester and the state of Rhode Island. Below is a breakdown of the events for the day. Number 1, festival will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Number 2, registration will take place on Friday the 17th at the Friendship Lodge from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it will also take place on Saturday 18th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. There will be food at the marketplace, which will be provided by local food trucks that are licensed with the town. 4, we anticipate the need for 2 police officers for crowd and traffic control, which will be in accordance with the guidance of the police chief. 5, any music taking place will be provided by the Chepachet Union Church or independent businesses within the community. Number 6, the market will be its own entity held at the pavilion at Kent Field. 7, we're requesting the town hall lawn for children's activities, which may include but aren't limited to the Future Farmers of America and the Pumpkin Patch. The Kent Pavilion has proven to be far too wet for these activities to take place. Number 8, scarecrows will be placed in assigned locations that line Main Street from October 17th to October 31st. All scarecrows will be taken down by vendors and participants by the evening of the 31st, or they will be discarded by the cleanup crew. Number 9, scarecrows will be placed away from all intersections and run from Romani Orthodontics to the Rotary. Number 10, scarecrows will be placed away from all intersections. 11, food local nonprofit Gloucester Lions will be located at 1184. Food local nonprofits. / Gloucester's Lions will be located at 1184 Putnam Pike. Chepachet Grange will be located at the Pavilion. Chepachet Fire Department, Friendship Lodge, and Chepachet Union Church will be located on their property, as well as current licensed food trucks. 12, there will be no outside vendors, peddlers, or hawkers associated with the festival. Number 3, there will be no one-day special food licenses issued for the festival. Number 14, if you have any questions, please call Keith Doucette. Any discussion?
Just, I see in our motion, how many porta-johns are gonna be required, or will you have?
Yeah, Keith, do you remember how many you had last year?
10.
We had 8 last year.
8.
Well, the motion said 10.
10.
I took it out.
And we didn't run into any problems with 8, right?
We did not.
Yeah, okay, I think that would be sufficient, plus we have the pavilion.
Yep.
10 seemed like a lot.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to read all that all over again?
No, this is different. These are
It's a little different.
Yeah.
I would have so moved it if I could, so.
Because I even put something about the town hall.
Yes, yes.
I had to have more than that.
Walter, do it.
Steve,
Oh, all set? Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the application submitted by the Friendship Lodge number 7 for the Scarecrow Festival to be held on Saturday, October 18, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Said use of town property is allowed with the following stipulations. 1, any food not prepackaged, cooked, and/or served on any town property shall be served by a certified food handler, and all applicable food safety state guidelines will be observed. 2, food trucks, if participating, must be licensed by the town of Gloucester, whether with an annual license or a one-day license. Cleanup and trash removal will be the responsibility of the applicant. Number 4, all stipulations for use of the town pavilion, if used in the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 221-18, shall be followed unless waived prior to event. 5, the applicant will work with the chief of police regarding a police presence. The hours and number of officers needed will be at the chief's discretion. 6, the applicant will work with the Chepachet Fire Chief to ensure all safety measures are observed and all areas are accessible by emergency vehicles. 7, a current certificate of insurance liability in an amount to be determined by the town solicitor shall be filed prior to license being issued. 8, a Gloucester field permit shall be obtained from the recreation director for use of the pavilion if used prior to license being used. 9, to include 8 porta-johns along the entire area for use of the event. 10, signs for parking shall be clearly posted. 11, the event shall be limited to the proposal submitted on application. 12, any uses on town hall lawn other than a pumpkin patch and information table by Future Farmers of America must be authorized in the town clerk's office prior to the event, subject to interlocal trust approval as needed.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Another great year.
Thank you.
C, request for resolution expansion of community septic loan program, discussion or action. In the town planner's request, unfinished business for the expansion of the CSSLP program, terms to include eligibility for business and nonprofit entities. The planner has asked for a resolution showing the council's approval of the change of terms.
I guess, do we all agree? Yeah, I would have an issue this year.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, you're not actually changing the terms with this resolution, you're just letting the infrastructure bank know that we're in support of looking at adding
them
those,
changing.
yeah, so this won't actually like make it effective, this will just show our
It's
support.
just asking.
Yeah, the only thing I would ask is, when we say in the resolution, it's residential, mixed-use, commercial, and nonprofits, so wherever it says commercial, we're expanding to nonprofits too. I don't know if that qualifies under commercial, I just want to make it clear, like the church properties and the Friendship Lodge, places like that, that are nonprofits would be eligible too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Want to read it?
Sure. Resolution number 2025-09, Gloucester Town Council resolution in support of expanding the Gloucester Community Septic Loan Program. Whereas the town of Gloucester is a participant of the Gloucester Community Septic Loan Program offered by Rhode Island Housing in partnership with the Clean Water Finance Agency and State Department of Environmental Management and the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. And whereas the goal of the GCLSP is to safeguard public health and improve ground and surface water resources by ensuring the proper function and maintenance of all septic systems in Gloucester. And whereas the town has developed the Chepachet Village Septic Improvement Program, CVSIP, to upgrade residential, mixed-use, commercial, and nonprofit septic systems within the village using direct grant funds through the Southern New England Program, United States Environmental Protection Agency, and Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Funds. And whereas the program goal of the CVSIP is to provide financial incentives that lead to the construction of as many wastewater upgrades as financially feasible, and Chepachet Village establish an innovative third-party management entity to ensure the long-term viability of these wastewater investments, and the results of these upgrades are implemented, reduce the number of properties using point-of-entry systems on drinking well waters, and as a result of these upgrades, restore the quality of the Chepachet River and to remove the total maximum daily load, TMDL. And whereas the CVSIP funds will not cover the complete construction of the individual septic systems, and property owners may need to access supplemental funding to ensure project implementation. And whereas the current GCSLP is currently available to properties that have between 1 and 4 residential units that are owner occupied, and whereas the expansion of the GCSPL program to allow owners of mixed use and commercial properties, owner occupied or non-owner occupied, using the same loan terms, fixed interest rates, and loan amounts as the existing program, will assist in the implementation of the CVSIP. Now therefore be it resolved that we respectfully request the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank, Rhode Island Housing, and the Department of Environmental Management expand the eligibility of the GCSLP program to include commercial and mixed use and nonprofit properties in the village of Chepachet in support of achieving the town's public health, safety, and water quality goals. This resolution shall take effect upon passage. Gloucester Town Council, Council William A. Worthy Jr., President, Council Walter M. O. Steer III, Vice President, Council Jonathan E. Burlingame, Council Stephanie L. Calisi, and Council Cheryl A. Greathouse. Adopted the 17th day of July 2025.
Take a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Authorization of signature, tax assessor RFP 2025-04, statistical reevaluation catalyst, contract per previously awarded bid, discussion under action. RFP 2025-04, statistical reevaluation was awarded in June 2025. This document represents the contract for those services previously agreed upon. The contract has been reviewed by our solicitor. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the town council president to sign the assessment services order form with an agreement term of 7/1/2025 to 3/31/2026 for fees in the amount of $155,000.
Take a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. CAMA software order form, discussion interaction, RFP 2025-04. Statistical reevaluation was awarded in June 2025. This document represents the software subscription fees and one-time professional service fees for the data conversion and training previously agreed upon. This order has been reviewed by the solicitor. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion
Just
to
before
authorize.
we do that, so is this 2 times we're paying the 155 on this? Or is this the same one?
Same one.
Okay. All set.
Make a motion to authorize the town council president to sign the assessment services order form with an agreement term of 7/1/2025 to 3/31/2026 for fees in the amount of $155,000.
Can I second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. 2, OpenGov Inc., order, e-permitting, discussion and action. This item is the order form for the OpenGov statewide e-permitting software system utilized by the Planning, Zoning, and the Tax Assessor's Office. Can I get a motion?
Motion to authorize the town council president to sign the OpenGov order form subscription start date 7/1/25 to the end date 6/30/26 for the statewide e-permitting software system.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. E, Board and Commission appointment, discussion and action, Gloucester Housing Authority, position 5 to expire 6/30/2030. Chair of the Gloucester Housing Authority has recommended the reappointment of Jacqueline Moalo to the Gloucester Housing Authority. May I get a motion, please?
Motion to reappoint Jacqueline Marlowe to position number 5, Gloucester Housing Authority for a 5-year term to expire 6/30/2030.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Excuse myself from that.
F, authorization for setup of restricted account, trust reimbursement, discussion and interaction. Council received the following memo, Honorable Town Council from Elizabeth A. Beltran, Finance Director, Reed Police Cruiser Insurance Reimbursement. The date was July 17, 2025. Attached, please find a request from Chief Delpreet to authorize a set-aside account from the reimbursement of $6,000 made by the trust for a total cruiser number 815. This fund, upon approval, would be used towards the payment of a 2025 Dodge Durango frontline replacement vehicle at a cost of $43,427.50. The funds for the vehicle purchase, would be as follows: $6,000 proposed restricted funds, $29,600 the Burn JAG DOJ funds 2019-2022, $7,827.50 from a donation account. Once council approves the set aside, we can process the payment. Respectfully, Elizabeth A. Beltran. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the creation of a set-aside account in the amount of $6,000. Said $6,000 represents a reimbursement from the interlocal trust as a reimbursement for total police cruiser number 815. The funds in this set-aside account will be utilized towards a replacement police vehicle.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Legislative updates, discussion interaction. Kind of out of session right now and everything's kind of a little quiet. Does anybody have anything?
No.
No, not legislatively.
Okay. Town council correspondence discussion. Council received a complaint regarding Hills Tavern. Is Chief here today?
No, it's not.
No, but it was just for informational purposes. It was sent to the email of the town clerk, so everybody has a copy of it. Just
Yep.
So they're all aware of what's going on. The chief's also aware.
Okay. The Rhode Island Energy sent a notification to municipalities regarding their vegetation plan for 2025. It can be seen online. Request for written policy to renters and private homes. Zoning board referred them to us. The tax assessor has recorded land evidence, assessor statement of assessment valuation tax levy for the 2025 tax roll.
Yeah, so for number 3,
Yeah, I didn't see that.
we follow state law on that? That's just a question.
If you're gonna establish a policy, there are some state requirements, but you're talking about, are we talking about, it says renters, but I mean, are we talking about they call them
Short term?
Short term.
short term?
I'm not sure she is. She's been in a number of times. She's just very concerned. There's a constant turnover of large groups of people moving in, moving out, moving in, moving out. And the police have been there many times, so she thought perhaps there was some sort of policy. But
Do we get a letter from, I didn't see
Yeah.
a letter, did I miss it?
Yeah, it's in the
packet.
she did write a similar letter to the zoning board, thinking they would be the ones to help with the policy. They referred it to the council.
Well, that would be planning if
I'm
anybody,
really not
right?
quite sure that, I mean, these people, they could just say they're not renting, they're just visiting. So I tried to explain to her that it may not do what she's looking to do, but she's desperate to try something, so she asked me to give it to council, so there it is.
We can look at, we can look into this short-term rental. Maybe there's a distinction between short-term rentals and long-term rentals that makes sense. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at some of that legislation. We haven't had to deal with it up here before. I haven't seen it come across my desk up here, so I know it's going on in other towns,
Yeah.
primarily vacation towns, right?
Right.
Like Newport and Jamestown, Narragansett. So we can like look at that if you want, and I can.
We did have.
Is this a property that's on, that the
I'm not familiar with the property.
This property is like that, like being rented for vacationers?
This property is on Snake Hill Road. It's her neighbor's house. There's just people coming and going all the time, so I think there's other issues, you know. I don't know that they're renters, neither does she.
I don't know.
Is it
I don't think this
It's
applies
just-
to
it's
this.
just shot, she's just trying anything she can try to get help.
Has she reported to the chief, maybe?
Yeah, they've been there, they've had multiple arrests at this location, so.
But I don't think this applies in this area, because I mean,
I don't know. We do have, I don't know if it's the same, if it's an issue or not, and I'll talk to David about it. There is a registry at the state's website of short-term rentals. There are about 5 or 6 Gloucester addresses filed on record. Yeah, they do, they have registered with the state. So I don't know if maybe away from this issue, if we should have an ordinance for short-term rental.
Remember-
I never knew they were there.
in the link.
We had an issue over
Yeah.
on Keach Pond,
Yeah.
Yeah,
going back probably, what, 5 or 6 years ago.
sure. They
I
were
can't
on
remember what the
Airbnb.
resolution was to that. I don't know, Karen, you got it?
I remember we actually wrote an ordinance, David and I, and then when it came right down to it, we thought this was using too big a hammer to hit a very small nail, because it wasn't really that big of a problem, so council tabled that ordinance. I mean, we still have it. If you want me to circulate it back around, I'm happy to do it, but.
Yeah, maybe just send it to us via email so we can take a
Yeah.
look at it.
Maybe we'll go from a destination
Yeah.
village.
Yeah.
That's a good starting point, so we're not spending time again to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you could
I'll
send
send
that
it
to
around
us.
where we
I
left
forgot
off.
about it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
But I don't think that,
Now, if you go to some of the
I know it wasn't
websites,
passed.
there are quite a few of that.
oh, no, but I mean, in this particular instance, I don't think so either. I think it's just grasping at straws now, unfortunately.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody, because I don't want to start naming names because I'll miss somebody unintentionally, but I want to thank everybody who was involved in making sure that all of our 4th of July festivities, whether it was the parade or the fireworks or the road races, I want to thank everybody for making that go very well this year. So once again, it was a great event. Bob did a nice job with ordering the weather this year, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, department head discussions. Oh,
Okay, so John Pacheco from the Land Trust came to see me this week. Because there wasn't enough notification to everyone when they had their last event, the Bio Blitz, he wanted to get ahead of it, and he wanted the council to know they're having an event at Sprague Farm on September 27th. It will be advertised from 1 to 4. It's a music event, but not amplified. They'll have 10 acoustical musicians along the way on their path, right? It's free, you stop, you listen, you keep walking. They are also inviting other town departments to participate. Maybe EDC has a table along the way, a booth, that type of thing, gives out information. He'd offer it to recreation. They really wanna just get, they're not gonna do vendors and all that nonsense. They just wanna help get the town. It sounds like a very nice event. I didn't feel it qualified, and being a town entity especially, that they needed to go with a special event application. They don't have any of the things that you typically have to monitor. He is working with police and fire to make sure there's details, that the, wherever the path leads, rescue personnel could get in if somebody were to fall on the path or whatnot. They have all the proper insurances through their insurance provider. If you want more information, you can contact anyone on the land trust. If you want the chair to come speak to you about it, he certainly will.
What was the date?
September 27th, 1 to 4 at Sprague Farm.
Maybe they can provide just a short memo for us.
Sure.
Then if we have any questions, we can
Sure.
reach out.
The other thing I had was for your next meeting, just so you're aware, you have 2 public hearings scheduled for the transfer of 2 Class A liquor licenses. So you'll have that on your next agenda.
Okay. Any other department heads?
Just have 2 quick grant updates. I don't know if anyone's been out to GMP. They replaced the light poles out there, 8 of them. We used energy efficiency grants, which was going to change the light bulbs to LED lights, but our poles were didn't meet building code, so we were able to use all those grant funds to get entirely new poles. So we leveraged a very small part to do the whole project, which was really great. So if you go out there, all the light poles are there. LED lights is going to save us. Not only are they safer, it's going to save us a lot of money in the long run, electrical bills. So take a look if you're out there. But the bigger one I wanted to point out is, I don't know if you remember, I think about this time last year, we received just over $1 million from the Capital Projects Office through the state for community center grants. And when they came through, we realized that they're not really, there's nowhere in town-owned property that they applied to, but they were very applicable to the libraries. So we passed the grant funds through to the libraries. So we passed $260,000 to Manton and just over $700,000 to Harmony. Manton's about done. I don't know if you've ever been in the basement of Manton Library. I mean, it was bad. And it was, they were constantly running humidifiers, they had a moisture problem. It was just a mess down there. You have got to go look. The whole thing has been gutted, put back together, painted, new floors, new ceilings, new lights, everything. All the moisture problem is fixed. They put French drains in. It looks amazing. The one thing left is the front door. If you entered from the far side, that's the only thing that's missing. So it's always unlocked. Go take a look down there. It's like a whole entirely different place, and it cost the library. So entirely grant funded. And we just went out to bid for the Harmony project. That's about to start. So the architect is reviewing the bids, and we'll hopefully get that one under construction in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So that'll be another great upgrade for our libraries. Again, costing us $0.
Karen,
Awesome.
the only stipulation was that they now have to offer programs to the public, right?
Yes.
They have programs set up for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah?
So the basis of the grant is giving a space for health, education, and workforce development. So as part of this, you'll see when you go look into the library, you'll see 3 small offices that have doors. So if you want to do an online class, if you want to do a virtual doctor's office, you can reserve one of those cubbies to do that. And luckily for us, our library ran a lot of those programs anyway. So they have resume writing classes and different types of workforce development. So it didn't really have to do with us coming up with new things to have to fill the rooms with. They already did that. And the even better part is it comes with almost $100,000 in program support to make sure those programs run, which are already library programs. So this is going to be it's just a great win for the libraries and for all our residents. And Foster chose not to take their money, but partnered with us instead. So, we want to thank Foster too, because we got all of their funds, and the stipulation was we just let them use what we built, which we let everyone use what we built anyway. So, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. So if you find that you're in that parking lot, just go down there and take a look. It's really I just went down there this week and I couldn't believe it's the same place. It doesn't even look similar. So check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other department heads? All right,
Boards and commissions, anybody here from boards and commissions? Any council members have anything for boards and commission members? Okay. Open forum. Anybody? Somebody sneak up there while we were heavily engaged? All right. I guess we need a motion to add items to executive session for discussion only. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to add to item 14, closed executive session for discussion only, number 2, collective bargaining, and number 3, pending IBPO grievance.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Can I get a next motion, please?
Make a motion to seek to convene to close executive session pursuant to RAGO 42-46-5A2, sessions pertaining to collective bargaining, litigation, or work sessions pertaining to collective bargaining or litigation. 1, discussion by council, vote, or other action regarding factory mutual taxation. 2, collective bargaining, discussion only. 3, pending IBPO agreements.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Will clerk please call the roll?
Council Burlingame.
Aye.
Council Calisi.
Aye.
Council Greenhouse.
Aye.
Council Steer.
Aye.
Council Worthing.
Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.